when you pull on that jersey, you represent yourself and your teammates. And a name on the front is a hell of a lot more important than the one on the back. Get that through your head.
And here we go.
And it is no good. He missed it. Are you kidding me? The season can't end like that.
The playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Some goofball in a hat and a red shirt. Now he takes off the shirt. He's running down the middle by the 50. He's at the 30. He's bare-chested and banging his chest. Now he runs the opposite way. He runs to the 50. He runs to the 40. The guy is drunk, but there he goes. The 20. They're chasing him. They're not going to get him. Waving his arms. Bare-chested. Somebody stop that man.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host of the program, otherwise known as NETMA. I'm Tyler Falk. Glad to have you for a Thursday edition of the show. I've invited a few friends along, the new ownership groups from all four new organizations. We'll get to them in just a moment. But first, we've also got to talk about what is going on in the offseason and the re-signing period. So let's go ahead and start to talk about such things, shall we? So over in the course of the past 24 hours, last known signing was Ronnie Panani. We'll check on the most recent updates here in just a second. If you want to get a link to this sheet, link to which is down in the description of the show to get to the NETMA Discord server. In there, you'll find a channel labeled Season 18-19 Offseason. You can jump in there and take a look at much more than just the different rosters, the previous season recap, free agents, all that kind of fun stuff. You can go and check that down there. But for now, couple of teams making a lot of moves. Arizona with 4 new signings. Owens, Todd, Norwood, and Constantine all returning to the fold. DC by far was the most involved group this past 24 hours with 9 total signings. Kevin Say, Riley Cuse among a whole bunch. The Doctor is back in the DC blue and gold. Las Vegas has a couple more. They double their tally a little bit more. John Blades, Mason Kirby, Jackson Roberts, and Dave Drury all come back to the fold in the Sin City. Rallman Hood and Tank Bennett joined the fold once again in Louisiana. Motor City has a good run on signings today. Christopher Dean, Mike Bellot, Ronnie Panani, Matthew Holford, and Nicholas Warner all rejoin the club. Tulsa has a couple of signings along with Vancouver. Mike Coverson, Marquise Reed, Dean Maddox, and Mark Lopez. As far as the official signings go for the past 24 hours or throughout the entirety of the season, you can go to this little website or just head to the official homepage of the SFL, simulationfl.net. That link is also down below in the description. Hit the Players tab and then also come over and hit the Contracts tab. And you'll get a nice little look at this if you want to figure out what's going on as we move on up to date. No new signings, unlike Benji Matson, who started to pop in through the midway point of the show yesterday. So, with that being said, we are just about ready to get everybody else into the show. And I don't know if the gentlemen are going to be able to hear me. Something has gone wrong with Discord, but let me go and type them out. We are going live to them. That way, they might not be able to hear me, but they'll be able to hear each other. So, let's go ahead and say hello to the 6 gentlemen who have been able to join me. We've got Christian Alacio from Canton, Chad and Adam from Indianapolis, Axel and BJ from Minnesota, and Ethan Kai from Seattle. Gentlemen, I don't know if you can hear me. Maybe you can hear me. But how are we doing? How are we doing tonight? Let's start with Canton. Maybe I can get Christian on the line. Christian, how we doing? Okay, no one can hear. Let me try this number, shall we? Gonna have to restart Discord. Maybe that'll help. Due to technical difficulties. My apologies, everybody. Let me. Why won't Discord just shut off and then doesn't want to join? Okay. Let me try something else, folks. Let me try something else. Okay. If you can, if anyone just wants to go ahead and start talking, maybe we got something going here. You gotta love technology, right, folks? The show must go on while I continue to figure out what's going on. Let's try that. Okay. Not my brightest moment, folks. Okay. While that's going on, we'll just play some music for everybody. That way we can try and figure out maybe what's going on. We'll go with the intro one more time. Hang with us as we try and figure out these technical difficulties.
And a name on the front is a hell of a lot more important than the one on the back. Get that through your head.
Here we go.
Trying to get back on. Still no voice. All right, I've got an idea.
And it is no good. He missed it. Are you kidding me? The season can't end like that.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
Yeah, it's something going on with
Playoffs?
this.
All right, there we go. Had to completely restart Discord. I think I hear Chad. Chad, how you doing?
We've got
Yeah,
here is
I can hear you now.
Okay, we got Chad. We have Christian.
I'm here.
Okay, I think we fixed it. Adam.
Can they hear us though?
Yeah, that's the thing. Can anyone hear everybody everybody saying anything? Chad, start talking, and let's get some response here from YouTube.
Yeah, so it's actually nice in Indianapolis today. It's not raining or anything, so that's always a plus.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Yeah,
and not 95 degrees with like 90% humidity.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Okay, so they can hear.
Okay, we've got everybody now. Okay, sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody. That's what happens when you do live shows. All right, so we've got 6 ownership groups. 6 out of the 8 could join us. Adam Chance is on tour right now with Home Free, and David Harrell is busy tonight as well. So let's start in alphabetical order with different clubs. We'll start in Ohio with Canton. Christian, you guys become one of the first ownership groups to not have spent a day or a play on the field in an SFL uniform, but you guys come out of the blue and pick up an ownership spot with Canton. How does it feel to be part of the SFL in an ownership capacity?
It's pretty incredible, man. Obviously, Adam and I both understood what we were kind of up against in just getting the franchise, but we also knew that we had something special that we wanted to bring to the league, and something that we thought the league would enjoy. And it was just a matter of getting other people to kind of see that vision and to share in that vision, because what that vision does, I think, overall, just improves everybody, right? A rising tide, all ships go up. So that's kind of the mentality that we took with this, and we're just feeling so grateful and so thankful, so honored, so blessed, whatever you want to call it, so fortunate to have the previous 24 owners see that in us and to give us a shot at doing it. So from what we understand, it hasn't been done before. 2 minor league players going from that experience to the ownership box, and because of that, we know we need to make it count. We need to make that count. So just thankful for everybody to give us the chance, and looking forward to joining everybody out there in the pro ranks for season 19.
There we go. All right, let's move over to Indianapolis, just down the road practically. It finds Chad Rowland and Adam Wiseman. Chad, you have been looking for a team for quite some time to try and get an ownership bid. It finally happens with Indianapolis. How do you feel after you come back to the States after spending some time in London?
Yeah, this was my first attempt at ownership, and I didn't really want to put in for it until I knew I was ready to go, and so it was nice to be able to have the other owners in the league look at that and say, okay, yep, that group is ready to go. And of course it was a natural selection to have Adam as my co-owner along with me, because we both are from Indianapolis. We love our city, we love everything about it, and we both have the experience as well. So it's been pretty good so far. We've got we're looking forward to next week, and I'm just enjoying the ride right now.
Here we go. Adam, you had the keys in Denver, helping to orchestrate a couple of seasons as their head coach. Now you take on an ownership role here in Indianapolis. How do you feel?
Great. And just to kind of echo what Chad said, we kind of spoke about this briefly at the convention, and then as we got closer, Chad kind of started throwing me ideas and offered me partial ownership, and basically said, how much do I have to give you to get you to come to Indy and leave Denver? And it was a no-brainer to join up with Chad. So, it just feels great. Excited to see what we can build with this squad and see what we can do in Indy these next couple seasons.
Fantastic. Over to Minnesota, just tugging at my heartstrings just a little bit again from the Great White North, land of 10,000 lakes. It's good to have Minnesota back. And Axel, you hit the ground running with the minor leaguers. You have SFL fights and insights that all pertains to the minor league and gives them a show they can call their own. The ownership obviously saw that as a major factor of you guys getting your bid. How does it feel to bring the SFL back to Minnesota?
It feels really great. There's Sioux Falls, but they're in South Dakota. It's pretty close to where I live, and that's one of my first draws when why I wanted to be drafted to them back in season 17. We parted ways, went over to San Diego, but really I've been wanting to carve out a little slice of this community to sort of create what I hope is one of the best team experiences. And again, this isn't in contrast to really many of the team experiences out there, but really, putting out my own little BJ and our own little flavor to it, right? And trying to give the best experience for starting off with the minor league players, since September, trying to work with them, season 4 and season 5 down in the minor leagues, and just wanting to create a great experience for at least 23 players per season at a time. So
there you go. And BJ, Minnesota is no longer just known for having the nation's best state fair. They're ranked number 1 in almost every single poll we find. But now they have a new franchise that they can call their own for the SFL.
Absolutely. And bringing up the Minnesota State Fair instantly made me want fried Oreos, my God. Yes. So bad. But I've had 10 years worth of ties to the state of Minnesota, and I felt like it was no better connection for me and Axel to do to bring Minnesota back to the SFL. It's been a long time coming, and hopefully we can fill those shoes that the Maulers left behind at some point.
There we go. Maybe pick up a championship or two. Ethan Kai, multiple different bids have found the arms of no one. Has been unsuccessful. Seattle finally gets another franchise. You get your franchise in the Nemesis. Take us through the naming process of the Nemesis? It seems like a weird one, but the logo especially, I think, caught a few eyes, especially with the Space Needle disguised as a dagger.
Well, originally I was planning to start out with a different name, and Demond and I were throwing around different names, and he's like, "You should be the villains." And I was like, "No, I don't want to be the villain." So I figured Nemesis still means enemy of, and went with that, and then wanted to use a logo that rarely gets used in the league. So I went with. Go ahead.
You know, I was gonna say, I was just gonna say, as far as you getting a team, you getting a club for first time after so many tries, you must be elated.
Oh yes, I actually cried tears because this was the third time, and I finally got it after 2 heartbreaks.
There you go. Third time's a charm. All right. So as you guys have begun your journeys here in the SFL as ownerships, Christian, we'll go back to you here for the start of these couple of questions. But as far as ownership goes, as far as trying to find your new front office staff, trying to find coaches, and of course trying to find players to fill those rosters, what's been the biggest challenge for you?
I think the biggest challenge was probably not being very familiar with anybody that wasn't in the SFLM. Obviously, I was down there, and so was Adam, and we spoke to those guys on a regular basis. I feel like I knew those guys pretty well. We were very active down there. But as far as the pro chat went, I did not know very many people aside from those who had access to that SFLM room. So that was, I think, the biggest challenge. Like, all right, we're putting this thing together. We want it to be a quality organization, and it kind of has to be a quality organization because we are representing 102 years of professional football. It had to be something special, but we don't know where those people are. But someone pointed us in the direction of Mike All, and he just kind of took it from there, man. Mike All is just such a great GM, as we've seen from what he's done in Jacksonville, and he was looking for an opportunity as well to kind of start fresh and to create something from scratch. So we had a need, he had a need, our needs just kind of fit with each other, and he really loved the idea of getting to represent 102 years of football. And he just took it from there. And everybody knows Mike All, right? And Mike All knows everybody, so it was perfect, man.
Absolutely. Tell us about this new front office position you've come up with. Is it director of business or?
Yeah. So Josh Bach is our executive vice president of business development. I've known Josh here in Indianapolis for probably since my second week that I moved to Indy. I met Josh. He's just been one of my most favorite people on planet Earth. Just a super solid dude, great heart, man, big family man. But even more so than all those things, he's a business guy. He's got such a great mind around business, and that's kind of how we wanted the Classics to be run. We wanted to create a situation to where we were so unique. We wanted to be kind of the only SFL franchise like it, and Josh is one of those pieces. More are coming, but he's definitely the first piece that we wanted to announce with that position. And he's been killing it. We've got the Fatherhood Festival coming up at the Pro Football Hall of Fame later this month. And Josh has already organized us with a big radio tour. We're going to be hitting every single radio station in Canton within like the span of 2 days. We're just nonstop talking about the Classics and introducing the city to who the Classics are and what we aim to do. That's probably not something I could have done just on my own. I needed that help and that assistance. And like I said, I just know Josh has a great head around that stuff. He's just he's just so proactive, man. One of the most proactive guys I've ever seen. So he was the right guy to plug into that position.
And that festival is also where we'll see Mike Singletary as well jumping with the classics for a little bit as you guys continue your promotion tour around Canton. I think I think Canton's going to have probably one of the biggest fan bases outside the immediate SFL. I think in quite some time. Canton able to not just say they're the home of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but have another franchise along with them. I think that's pretty good.
Thank you.
Over to Adam and Chad. Adam, we'll start with you this time for the Ramblers. You're not much of a stranger to this. You've been in the decision-making process. Both you and Chad have, so you kind of know what an off-season looks like. But what's different about being an ownership group and setting everything rolling from the ground up?
Yeah, it's definitely been a busy off season, and a lot different than anything I've experienced in the SFL. I did a lot of the roster building or helping with the roster build in Denver when I was there, and it's just there. We always had a nice group that was coming back, and I think that's been the biggest kind of change is we don't have anybody coming back. So we've had to build this from the ground up, and I think and we've also I've never also had to hire a GM. I never had any other coaches on staff, and so that process has been a lot different as an owner. And I think with getting Chris Britton in as our general manager, and learning from Chad, who I think is one of the best GMs in the SFL. I mean, I've been able to see this guy recruit this offseason, and it's certainly impressive. And I think Chris is going to come in, learn right away from Chad, and I think we're going to really be extremely happy with having Chris Britton on our team and in our front office. And then we got Colin Pierce to come in and be our offensive coordinator, and it's a guy who has the experience in the league as well, and somebody who is going to again work with Chad on what Chad wants to do offensively. And I feel really good about the two hires that we have, and some of the other position and people we've been talking about. And so it should be kind of got to wait another week, but it's going to be a very fun season for us.
Absolutely. Chad, as a GM, you've done work in a couple of different cities. Now coming into your own organization, Indianapolis, does this offseason to you as you work to set the foundations for Indianapolis, does it feel more like you're molding clay or chipping away at stone?
It's been a different one, because it's kind of like what Adam said. We're used to having rosters, kind of fully there, and being able to just add some pieces here or there, bring stuff back. This is a totally different thing now, trying to build an entire roster from scratch. But it's been a lot of fun. Being able to come in and recruit the players we have. Chris. I mean, first of all, what can I say about the guy? I mean, he's been here in a short time, and he's already kicking ass. Doing a very good job when it comes to just asking the right questions and just being a sponge. And I don't know if I've ever met anybody that's been more excited to have that position than Chris. And we're really excited to have him, and he's learning a lot. And then obviously, with Colin, he's had coaching experience in the past, and not just in this league, but in different leagues as well. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do there together, me and him, with this offense. I think we're gonna be able to mold it very well with the weapons we got.
All right, over to Minnesota, starting with we'll go with Axel to start off with here for this continued round of starting everything from the ground up. And Axel, you've been with 3 different pro organizations now, going into your 3rd season as a pro. Now you no longer have to worry about being a free agent. You're stuck with Minnesota for the foreseeable future.
That's true.
What does it feel like to now have the opportunity to delegate to a GM to recruit for your players, the ability to control things on a more overarching scale.
Sure. No, it is a blessing, if that makes sense. It is there's so much nuance and expertise and skill it's more of an art than it is a science. And luckily I was able to partner with BJ, who is a exquisite artist in this as well. And to have Jason France to come in as our GM, just like Chad was talking at Adam and Chad were talking about Chris being hungry, equally as hungry on this side with Jason, someone who um this is the role that he wants to flourish in, and we're seeing him really fill out into that role. Takes to it like a natural. Really I've not being a GM myself. I last year being part of the front office of San Diego was able to help out with Liam and Leon, Thunderman, Zach, and Optimus over there in FA and draft conversations and things leading up to last season. And it was exhilarating, but also it was just like they were telling me, go do this, go talk to this person. But from the more of a top down perspective, there's like it's a hive, and you've got two busy bees running around doing a lot. And for myself, making as many relationships that I have throughout the league, trying to leverage some of those, and just really trying to create a welcoming atmosphere, and joining in these different FA and uh, rookie or draft conversations, interviews, and things, and just sharing the vision is really great. Getting to know these people and answering, fielding these questions from them. It's just been really great to see this all working like a really great, like a well-oiled machine, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. BJ, you've been in the SFL for some time now. You've gone through a couple of different changes with the league. Uh, Going with Axel, who's also relatively new to the league, you added a little bit more veteranosity to the ownership group. What are some things that you have provided with Axel during this first off season together, and what are some things you've learned about being an ownership here in Minnesota?
I mean, what I've learned is that the ownership role is not the GM role. It is the GM role on steroids on top of everything else. And I'm thankful to the high heaven for a partner that is just hits the trail as hard as I do, equally as hard. And shout out to Jason France. He's a like-minded individual. It's like three just busy bees just hitting it all different directions and just getting it done. And what was the other part of the question?
Just learning from each other, right? So you being more the veteran and Axel being more the rookie here in the league.
Axel's connections to just everywhere at this point, in so short a time, it has opened my mind up to be more vocal to others around the league and get perspectives from others around the league. And Axel just is so welcoming and it's just his personality is infectious, and it's like and it's become of me and of Jason just to hit the ground and get these people in here and get them just talking to people. And I think what he's learned from me is that I, I am the wily veteran, but I guess my attitude a little bit is towards things. If you get it, he's more of the what's the right term for it before I say something crazy. Uh, he's the good cop. I'm the bad cop. Let's go there. And
I can share, from my own perspective. So one thing that BJ has offered me is a lot more comfort in when I would normally be maybe stressing out about certain things, and like not certain how FA is a very crazy, chaotic situation. And for someone who likes some certainty like myself, it's BJ's just like, settle down, it's okay, just relax, we got this. And so for me, relying on that, his veteran experience, and being like, just puts me at ease, if that makes sense. So definitely.
So he's more the rock in the ownership relationship. I see that, right, BJ?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
There we go.
That'll clean that up.
Absolutely. On to Seattle and Ethan, Mr. Kai. As far as setting everything up with you and David over in the Pacific Northwest, what's been your biggest takeaway from gathering your staff, gathering your coaches, and starting to find potential players and prospects?
Just wanting, it's kind of just letting people that want to be there. And the experience with the coaches and stuff is, I feel that Jalen Wells he's a great GM. He's out there hitting the pavement, talking to free agents, talking to rookies. And then we got our new defensive coordinator, and he's new to being a defensive coordinator, Brady Clark. And he's had some experience in the background, but I think it's his time to shine. And then Paulie Truth, that man is a very artistic man, and I'm glad to have him. Sorry, I'm at work. It's still a little noisy.
It's all good. I just don't want to cut in and interrupt you. All right. We'll go one more question for everybody here in the ownership group. The newest 4 teams, 6 out of the 8 new owners. Christian, final question for you. This is our, make a prediction style of question. Where do you see the Classics finish out this season and maybe in a few years to come?
As far as this season, I think our goal is to beat all the teams that are in the room with us right now. Sorry, fellas, but that's definitely where we've got our goals set. That's goal number 1. I think that we have the talent to make the playoffs this very first season, which would be fantastic if we do. And as the years go on, I'm just really looking forward to making this, like I said at the beginning, this once in the SFL type of experience. We've got so many things plugged in for the team to really make all of our players household names, not just in the SFL community, but in the real world. That was our main goal, was to make every single person on that roster a real life football star. And we've got the personnel to do it. We've got the connections to do it. We've got the structure in place to do it. So as the seasons do roll on, I do expect us to remain just as competitive. I do expect us to probably have a pretty good retention rate with that, and to keep building that, man. But it's super important to us to make this thing as realistic as possible, and just have the city truly cheer us on. We've got some great support in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We've got some great support just in the city of Canton. We've got a couple of meetings coming up with the mayor and doing some other cool real world things. So I just see us building that, up to the highest potential, and hopefully other teams see that, they think it's interesting what we're doing, and they also want to do it in their cities. And Adam and I have said that from the very beginning when we first started our bid, was we've got an open door policy. If anybody would want to come in and partner with us and maybe do some of those real world things for your team and for your franchise, we would definitely love to hear from you. So that's really what's in front of us right now.
Playoffs and exposure in season 1, setting the bar pretty high for the average SFL team. Indianapolis, on to you, Chad. Christian wants to go ahead and beat you guys, but I have a feeling you'd probably want to play against your old club in London and maybe show Johnny Pickler a thing or two that Indianapolis has a thing to offer the Knights.
Yeah, I mean, really for me and Adam also, I mean, it doesn't really matter who we face. We'll be ready for any challenge that gets thrown our way. We always are. I mean, it'd be interesting to play the North just because, the fact that I came from the North with London and, Canton obviously being really close, Detroit being really close as well. But you know what? We got three other great teams in our division on our own, right? I mean, Sioux Falls and Tulsa were both playoff teams last year. Minnesota, obviously, with these guys, I mean, they're going to be, building up a great roster. I would assume so. I got my own things to worry about. I'm not really needing to worry about Canton too much. But I mean, if they're on the schedule, that's fine. We'll just, we'll take care of business then, and we'll handle it from there.
Here we go, Adam. What's the season outlook? Again, way too early. Nothing set in stone. Haven't even signed a single player yet. But where do the Ramblers finish out, or where would you like your guys to finish out? Of course, with a championship, no less. But what's a realistic expectation for the season?
I think, we always, for me in Denver, I always set out a goal to make the playoffs, and unfortunately, the first my last two seasons there, we didn't get that done. But I think with what we're building in Indianapolis, I think the playoffs are not out of the question. We know our division is going to be extremely tough with Tulsa and Sioux Falls. Making the playoffs last year, both really good teams that I played against last season that I got to play against again this season. So, I think if we can, top two in the division, we obviously have to beat Minnesota. There's no question about that. As kind of the smaller goals, and then winning the division and making the playoffs is the bigger goal.
Fantastic. Axel, over to you there in Minnesota. Minnesota has gone, what is it now? 31 years without a team. Or no, I'm mistaken. The Minnesota Lynx won a couple of titles, but besides the Lynx, it's been quite some time since a team has won one of the championships.
Like the 87 World Series or something like that you might be thinking of, or
87, 91. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. No, I having an expansion team, there's the stigma of oh, they're coming in not going to be very good, things like that. Like, much like the others, super hopeful that we're going to be able to turn that outlook on its head. The goal always is and always will be getting that trophy, getting that championship. Is that super feasible? I think we're putting together a good team. It's time will tell. And that's what we're working for. Every game we're out there to win it, get that W. And I think it is feasible that we could make the playoffs. I would love or expect us to come out better, at least 50-50, 6-6 or something like that. If not better, but that for me, that 6-6 is sort of that bar. I want to come out positive on that our first year, and then just continue to build on that. And that's what we're going to be working towards. So.
And BG, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Minneapolis Maulers, but there's a reason why I didn't mention them before. It's because, well, the team was from Minneapolis, Minnesota, not a team named Minnesota, which was completely against the run of the mill for a Minnesota franchise. Now with a team in Minnesota, you guys have a chance to do something special. Did we lose BJ? Maybe.
He's off mute, but I'm not able to hear him either.
Interesting. We might get back to BJ here in a little bit. Meanwhile, we'll move on to Ethan over in Seattle for one last time. Ethan,
can you hear me now?
There we go. Now we got BJ. Okay.
Well, I apologize. Really quick, just for a friendly reminder to our Minnesotans. When the Twins won in '91, it took a kid from Chicago to come to Minnesota to win them a championship. So, got some things in the workings. Kirby Puckett, if you're not familiar. But to Axel's point, as his more positive answer, we're coming for to become kings of the Central. Sorry, Chad, Adam. But I think we're putting together a good group of guys and girls to move in the right direction. Ultimately, our plan is to grow and grow as a smaller community inside this larger community, and bring the right group of people together. And seasons and forward, we can win playoffs, divisions, and championships and things of that nature. But our ultimate goal is to become kings of the Central, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Ethan, now we get over to you. Just a little bit extra time. But Ethan, Seattle, over there on the Pacific Northwest. You guys have Vancouver. You guys have LA, who had a little bit of a down season last time out in season 18. And then you've got Portland, who will be looking to rebound from a couple of seasons of disappointment as well. But it's a very tough division. It seems like it's Vancouver's to lose. Can you knock the Legion off their pedestal this season?
The goal is to do that, but I mean, Andy's pretty on key with what he's doing. As for my team, record-wise, I'm going to be brutally honest. I think 5-7 is a good start. If we get anything above that, that's all a bonus.
Here we go. One final question for Christian Alay show before we say goodbye to everybody. Christian, Eddie Gage asks the question: is when you going to announce your coaching staff?
Yeah, pretty soon, man. Pretty soon. Obviously, we've already got the guys that we're going to have, but we're kind of being very strategic just because of the business relationships that we have outside of what we're doing here in the SFL. So we needed to get that Josh announcement out first. We do need to get another announcement out first for the business side of this, and then we can go ahead and get back to announcing the people that will run the show as far as the on-field product. But it's coming soon, Eddie. Just hold on a little bit, and aside from that, man, hope you're feeling better with the COVID stuff.
There we go. Yeah, special shout out to Eddie Gage as well, recovering from COVID. But that is just about where we're going to leave things off. I want to thank Christian, Chad, Adam, Axel, BJ, and Ethan for all joining us tonight on the program, otherwise known as NETMA. We'll be back next week on Monday, as tomorrow, of course, is week 6 of the SFLM, so there'll be no show tomorrow. So hopefully you guys are catching out that action going over on SFL's YouTube channel. And until then, everybody, we'll see you next week. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.